It just about 1 hour, 30 minutes into today's trading, the market doing already about 0.4% in the new day. But let's look at yesterday. The stock market of the Nigerian Exchange Limited gained 6 billion naira, even as Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria maintained status quo on its rate. Members of the MPC voted unanimously to maintain the monetary policy rate at 11.5% at the just concluded meeting. The committee also voted to retain the cash reserve ratio requirement at 27.5%, liquidity ratio now 30%, and a symmetric corridor between the least and the ceiling at plus 100 basis point to minus 700 basis point. However, the NGL share index increased by 11.24 basis point of 0.02% to close at 45,939.51 basis point at the close of Tuesday, from 45,900 basis point. Similarly, the overall market capitalization size gained about 6 billion to close at 24.755 trillion naira from 24.74 trillion naira the previous day. So we'll look at the upturn, which was imparted by gains recorded in large and medium capitalized stocks, amongst which Seplat, Energy, Ecobank, Transactional Incorporated, Champion, Breweries, Nigerian Exchange, all on fire at the close of yesterday. So let's get talking now and look at how the monetary policy decision, the outcome of that decision is impacting on the equities market this morning. Mr. Ambrose Amodian is a Chief Research Officer, Investigator Consulting Limited. He joins me live here in the studio. Thank you for coming again. Yes, you were here the last time and you predicted that, the MPC was going to be retained, as it were, and it came to pass. But how would you, express, or would you address this?
Yeah, actually, I said it earlier that it's too early for you to adjust rate in a company that's still recovering, and so the recovery is not too strong, weak, and very fragile. For me, it's a good show that they have retained it so that we can still find from here to the other end of April to know where the economy is going. Also, don't forget that whatever is happening globally has a way of influencing other climate. For that, if at the end of MPC meeting there in US today, if they increase their rate or they hike their rate, yes. It will mean that funds will start leaving the emerging market back to the matured market because of high rate, and everyone want to place save and for that. But the good thing that there's something that need to understand in the market, especially in the equity market. For the last 2 years, we've seen less portfolio foreign investor in our market, and that is a plus for this market. And I tell you that is why even SEC and NSE to do more education. Let's encourage more local participation in the market, so that we can plan with our market the way it should be, anywhere in the world, that you plan with, equity market, stock market, capital market. Now that they are left here, I don't think their rates today won't affect us much as in terms of market, because before, I'm telling you, if they are the one controlling about 70% or 50% of the market, with this adjustment we're expecting today in US, you see sell off, the market are turned red. But good thing that as market are open today, we're seeing the market is already in green. Why? Because any season is coming closer. And yesterday, about two company, what is called Cabri and the Police Microfinance, released their unaudited account, and these numbers are not bad at all, especially for microfinance. Growing their top line with about 20%, bottom line about almost 54%. EPS moved from 27 kobo to 41 kobo. It tells that company alone have given a sign. That's why that last time they increased their share with a right issue. Their earning per share still stood at 41 kobo for full year. That means dividend of 20 kobo is already there, bro. If that just to 35 kobo, good for investor, but for me, it tells that more results like this, when you hit the market, it's going to change the face of the market. Like I said earlier, that any season is more about volatility, not more about direction. But who have seen that these earnings are coming their price, you see that you see market will move up and down. More money or more liquidity will come to the market because they want to take position. You can see that this morning after the MPC meeting, market has started looking up already. And yesterday, when the filial get to the market kind of rebounded yesterday, just because they know that this is going to be relatable. Everybody was sitting at the fence before, we don't know what's going to, but I told them earlier that it's too early for MPC to adjust rate up, and they know that yes, we are already in a recovery move in terms of economy. Like I said earlier, if you look at even the quarterly growth in terms of GDP, they are not really consistent. Yes, they are in positive, but they are not moving up from 5.1 to 4.3. We don't know what the last one will do now, but for that, we need to wait and see the last quarter GDP. I know that it's a kind of a festive period, but the good thing is that the purchasing manager for December was up from 50.8 to about 52 point something. That is that we'll see more activity. And you know that December is also a festive period, the head of production to meet demand for that. Let's see what happens from now to the end of the first quarter, 31st March. I believe this earnings season will shape the market now. Now that the rate is leveled, only today we're going to see the outcome of the primary market option of the TB to see whether TB rate is still going to go up or flat. That is really what we're waiting to see. But if market have started in this bullish direction this morning, it tells you that yes, even from that market, we're not seeing much change. For me, good investors to target good equities now that are really selling at a good price, looking at their fundamental, looking at their charts, which is the technical analysis, and also the history, that's the dividend payment, to guide you to where to be at this point. The market for me, at this first quarter, it's time to look for money. Yes, people are thinking that election year, I agree with you, but it won't be at this first quarter, that's part of election. We are seeing a lot of party moving around there, but it will be from either third quarter of or second half of the year. We can now see movement of either fund or nothing, but yes, pre-election year, we expect that liquidity will be around to play.
I want us to look at because we talk about earnings, and we're going to dwell more on looking at healthcare companies and look at their third quarter earnings. But just before we go there, I want you to just, when do we expect the next CBN's meeting? Because, of course, the CBN say they decided to leave it unchanged to see how the market and the economy is going to react, especially with the normalization we are witnessing in developed economies. So quickly, before we go,
we expect the next MP to come in March. It's every 2 months that after we'll have a month, all February for us to look at the impact of the decision. Then March again. That is why the money policy anywhere in the world is to put the tune of the economy, to give economic direction. That is why they come often more than every other meeting, because they know where the economy is going, what to do to change. That is why anywhere in the world, MPC meetings that come more regular than any other meeting in terms of economic management. Because that is where they give direction, tune what will impact the economy, positive or negative. They have to check things in the economy. That is why it comes every 2 months, so that they can easily quickly make adjustment to correct all of them. By March. around between 20 to 24, we'll be looking at another MPC meeting. But I know that this and that March might not see, but from the second half of the year, we might start seeing adjustment in rate. But that depends where the economy is going, because it's not just because the mature economy is doing a normalization. You want to jump into it, you want to look at your peculiarity and what's happening in your environment to show you where you are going.
Okay, let's look at the third quarter earnings position of some healthcare companies. But the force is fits in, because we really do not have much attention to the healthcare stocks. I would say that because we talk about the banking, we talk about the industrial goods and other sectors, but really no attention. So how much of appetite of investors, for instance, to look at fixing third quarter earnings, it's in the market turnover of about 21.75 billion. The profit after tax, it's looking 2.34 billion naira, and you also have the earning per share there. Their profit margin, of course, is up about 10.69% there. So with their dividend yield and all that, how strong, fundamentally strong, is the stock of Fitson, given their third quarter earnings? Actually,
looking at that sector, before now, it has been a setback for the sector, but since the issue of COVID-19 came on board, government have read attention to that sector, and consider that since then we have seen improved activities in that industry, and that's also a strong fundamental news or sentiment that has been supporting that sector. The government has tried, okay, let's inject funds, especially CBN know how to put funds so that they can have access to cheaper funds to do their business, so that we can, even there's plan in government to start government already planned that we should have our local produce a vaccine here. If that come on board, that will put more activities in that. But as we speak now, looking at the numbers I just asked, I see fixing has really done well in terms of numbers we are seeing. That number tells you that fixing is heading to somewhere. For third quarter, for a company that is selling below 8 naira, having a 1 naira 11 kobo as a third quarter. And also if you look at their performance in terms of dividend payout for last year, that they paid 25 kobo, the earnings also cannot be compared to the earnings we're seeing today. That means they are likely to be growth in their dividend payout, and also with the attention they are having, we'll see activities improving in that sector. That means a good investor, knowing that healthcare sector or healthcare good product are like essential product that even the people that are aging, the younger ones are coming, people need to have access to, to healthcare. For me, I think it's a sector that if you are thinking long term, where you can start building your, because it has come to stay. And now that government is giving attention, I think we'll have less, government officials traveling out again. That means consumption of all these things will be here. That will be a good thing for the sector. And the number shows that if you're an investor, this kind of stocks in this sector should be in your portfolio, so that as activities are improving, like I just said, if by tomorrow, say a World Bank grant loan to any of them, whether that's fixing, me and Baker, GSK to start producing a vaccine, it also add additional momentum to the sector. For that, I think
let's
the numbers
quickly
are
look
looking
at good. Let's quickly look at them one after the other. The GSK GlaxoSmithKline stock earnings is out. Turnover is about 16.5 billion. Well, the profit after tax is not so impressive if you look at it. But if you look at also May and Baker, let's go to May and Baker. Third quarter earnings, well, 8.48 billion. The profit after tax, it's impressive. If you look at it there. And then the profit margin is about 10.94%. I think good one for investors there. The named is the next one there. Third quarter earnings is out with about 3.04 billion. In terms of turnover for them. So I just want us to run through quickly, then you can then pick up, and then we'll start talking about it. Pharmadeco is one company, of course, that is also more like not really active the way I see it, but of course not doing badly, with the fact that it seems they are under the bottom. But I know you have something to say about that one. But let's look at quickly the Morrison Industries third quarter earnings, and if you look at the figures on your screen, the profit margin is badly down, 48 in the negative, 48.46%. I think these are much we have, but let me quickly show you, because there's no dividend yield for them, and also for EcoCorp as well, there's no dividend yield for them as well. Even their any use, it's in the negative for EcoCorp. The same thing for any use for Morrison Industry is in the negative. So maybe we should let's start treating it. Where do you start from in all of these health companies?
We look at the ones that are really, we say they are active, but I think most of them are moving from even the negative position to a positive position. That is why, as an investor, you look at a company that's moved from a negative position to a positive, like, Pharmadeco. Pharmadeco, for me, I think the company is really bouncing back. Investors should put their gaze on that kind of company. Their share initially is very small, and they're coming back powerfully. Yes, as we speak now, they posted a red account, a negative account for third quarter. That doesn't mean that fourth quarter they won't wipe it out, or first quarter 2022. For me, if you're a long-term investor, this way you should also be taking position. I said that healthcare sector will soon become one of the drivers in the market, because attention is going there. I know how much government is investing in importing drugs, even though they are getting the vaccine free, or they are spending money. I mean, if we can do it locally, it's going to go a long way to drive activity in that sector. Even the farmer, what's it called, the Morrison, the Cocoa, all of them, when that sector is doing well, it's going to reflect on them. But for the ones who say that yes, they are consistent in their dividend payment, is fixing, me and Baker, especially me and Baker payout, has been improved from 20-25 to almost 30 kobo. Why for fixing we saw 25 kobo last year, for the report. Earnings of fixing about 111 kobo will give you an idea that this is also becoming a leader in the industry. Before now, GSK have been the leader in the industry, but in terms of performance, earnings, you can see that fixing is taking over from GSK. But GSK number posting 10 kobo for third quarter, for me, is a weak number. That's why the price is just crawling and but see the way fixing is going. But there's a news in the market that even fixing and GSK, they are going to agreement for one production of one product. If that come to be, that will be a plus for GSK and also for fixing. But for me and Baker, before now, like about 6 years ago, federal government has always signed an agreement with them to produce a vaccine, but they had that facility already on ground. That means if government is looking the way of where to start with the vaccine production, I think me and Baker will catch me and Baker and fixing.
I'm wondering how come the dividend yield is attracted about 7 naira 46 kobo, and then you have a turnover of 8.48 billion. How do you put that together?
No, if you look at you are talking about what do they pay to their shareholder? They pay 30 kobo, and the price of around 4 naira 40 kobo. That's why the dividend is at almost 7 point, which are above even the treasury bill, yield for a whole year. For me, it's not a bad one. And also this letter that there is consistent activity now. Now that the Omicron is here too, all that means government attention will not move away from this sector, very soon. And also, if government are investing there, that means government going back is being happening again, because we need to make health facility available for every Nigerian.
So you are saying after the oil and gas index and the banking, the next index to consider, or sector to consider is
Yes,
the
that's what they
health
call it. Yeah, the
sector.
health sector, because you know, for if you are thinking long, because I tell you, health issue is something that's come to stay. That's why if you look at the matured market, where you see, you know, other we call it a mech tech, you know, we are doing about tech, you know, they see that what do they are waxing strong. But
Right.
here it doesn't, because we're looking about manufacturing. I know anytime you see any, you know, mech tech coming or health tech coming to Nigeria, it's going to be because that will have access to technology or concerning health. That for me,
Let's try to wrap up
it's a
now
plus
quickly.
for the
If you can
market.
do this in 30 seconds, what do we have going? This is midweek already. Wednesday is the third trading day of the week. We still have about two trading sessions to go for the week. What's the projection like before we go?
Yeah, we have seen the market on the sideline for almost 3 days. On the market was flat on Friday, Tuesday rebounded marginally on Tuesday. Today we see market open on a strong note. I see that we also expect a mixed performance before the end of the week, and that will tell you that the number that will come to the market will determine the volatility we're going to see in the market. And that number, I see for me, is a plus for the market, because that's where investors are looking at to see such number that will guide them. Already, I've told you that the one that came from, you know, police microfinance was impressive, and while the one came from, Cabri was missed. Cabri was up, the top line was up by 20%, while the bottom line, which is profitability level, was down about 11%. Their earning EPS declined from 50 kobo to around 44 kobo. For me, investors should know what to do at this time. As these numbers are coming, is to guide you where you put your 10 terms of dividend paying, because unaudited account tells you that this company are ready to also to release their audited account before the end of 31st March. That means what we are seeing now is whether you should stay put in that position or you should sell off. For me, it's a good one for investor now. The market is starting on a good note, knowing that the MPC have retained no rate. That means, for us, look at
There'll be a bit of stability in the market.
Exactly, and also those stocks that I give you a yield that is above inflation.